Good morning.
Goeiemôre.
It's been a rush this morning, so it's been up and down. It's a crazy morning. But we are here. So good morning. I don't think I've said good morning to you yet this
No,
morning.
you haven't.
That's been crazy. This morning we're talking about the top 5 mistakes new immigrants make. Now, there is quite a few mistakes. There's quite a few things that people think of and so forth. So I think we just took the top 5 and played around with that a bit. What would you think is the top 5?
Well, you've got the list.
I thought you can read this far. So, according to those who know, they say that inaccurate and incomplete documentation or using outdated or incomplete paperwork when applying can be a mistake to avoid.
Yes, a lot of people.
That's a lot of things.
It does.
Yeah.
I've actually heard about a lot of people that did the applications themselves and that are now in New Zealand. But I just think with all the legislations and with all the changes of immigration, it is probably not a good idea to do it yourself.
Yeah, it's probably a bit more difficult. Let me put the camera a bit more on you that people don't say I take over everything.
Yeah.
It's probably with the changes happening overnight, because I mean, you hear that are probably going to, and the next morning it has been done. It changed a lot of things.
And an immigration advisor will be up to date with the latest changes. And
or if they're not up to date, they come up to speed within a day or so.
And the thing is, if you make a mistake on your paperwork, if you have to fix it, you'll end up being lost in the row again when it comes to the application. And in some instances, they'll just throw your application out and red flag you. And then it will be really difficult for you to apply again. So my 20 cents, 5 cents, whatever, I would rather use an immigration advisor.
And myself as well.
Just to make sure that everything is done the way that immigration likes it to be done, and that all the information that they need are there.
Yeah. So it's always important to do everything as much as possible, even more than what the normal. If you would give something into your father, your mother, your school, or whatever, you would have given that in. Do it 10 times more when you do it with immigration. I've seen so many people come back and say, we're 20 years married, we've got 3 kids, and immigration now questions the fact that we have a relationship.
Yeah, no, that's
and
the
the
way
thing
it
is,
is.
But the problem is, think of this: that guy sitting with immigration, he gets whatever they send him.
Yes.
So the second somebody tells me something like that, I throw it back in their face and I tell them, you have sent way too little information.
Yeah.
Way too little. I mean, how can that immigration advisor or the guy at immigration sitting doing that stuff even know they're 20 years married if they haven't told him so? If they haven't sent marriage certificates, they haven't sent proof of photos and all those things.
Yeah.
Do it more rather than less. So
send them way too much information. I made a whole flip
she made
file.
A book. She made a book. I think that guy probably printed that off, and that's lying on his coffee table somewhere.
Yeah.
The last 500 years of Jan's suffering.
Wow.
All right. The next thing that they have on the list, for those who know, ineffective networking. They say building a professional network can help newcomers find employment, access support, and integrate into the local community. That is so, but that is difficult. That is very, very difficult. Because if I'm in Tauranga and somebody now from wherever in the world contacts me and say, oh, yeah, I want to come to Tauranga and so forth, I would think, how far have you gone with this? Have you even applied? Do you have a work yet? So, and I know that's probably not the right way to be. We've got to be more human. But it could be that I spent 2 years of my time on somebody that's not even really have got the mind to come over at the end of the day.
I think the one mistake that some people do make is they rely on the input of other people. And that can be a huge mistake because some people will give you totally the wrong information.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll end up being somewhere that you probably didn't want to be, living a life that you actually don't want to live. So it is very important to do your own homework. We get a lot of people, especially Jan, that asks, can you source a work for me or whatever?
Or they just said, I want a sponsored job.
Yeah.
They don't say what job they need. They don't say where they come from. They don't say who they are.
And the thing is,
yep,
everyone comes here on their own. It is not up to anyone that's here to make sure that someone that's still in a different country gets to be in New Zealand. And the thing is, when you tell people, you give them the information and they come, they will hold you accountable for whatever their life turns out to be. So do your own homework. We spent a year or longer watching videos, doing our calculations.
How many hours is there in a week?
No, I don't know.
That's what we spend every weekend watching videos.
It is hard work.
Oh, it's a lot of work.
And then still, you only have the information that the internet gives you. That it's not. And the thing is, everyone has got a different opinion. So if you ask someone that's already in New Zealand, they are probably going to tell you from their point of view what life is like.
And I can understand that. And the other thing is, these people will give you their point of view 5 years ago when they came.
Yeah. It's different now.
That's still always a big issue.
Yeah. So do your homework. That is one of the most important things that you have to do.
Good morning to Lisette van der Berg. Van der Berg.
Van der Berg.
Van der Berg. How does the Kiwi say that? Van der Berg. Yeah, it's quite interesting now. I think that is one of the top 5 mistakes they reckon new immigrants make.
Yeah. Then isolation.
Yep.
And unfortunately, when you get to a new country, you are so tired emotionally, and you really just want to find your feet. And I can talk from experience. I can very easily become very isolated, and it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I am very happy with my own geselskap.
Good morning to Brian. Good morning, Vanita, to all the latecomers. Good morning.
But it is
very isolation is different for different people, unfortunately. So there's no easy way, or can I say this specific scenario will make you isolated. Some people can be some people can be isolated within a large meeting.
Yes.
I'm one of those people. If I don't like the vibe around me and don't like the people around me and I have to be there, I isolate myself because I want to be isolated. And I don't want to really be on the same level as those people. I just have to be there. Sometimes I go to some meetings where I need to be there just because I need to get the point.
A different scenario.
Yeah. I'm just talking about different isolation ways.
You have to, unfortunately, put yourself out there. You have to go out of your way to make friends, to get acquaintances. And for me, that is a really hard job. I'm not one of those social butterflies that just walks into a room and gets to know everyone and everyone likes me and whatever.
That's what she tells you now.
No, I'm not. So I have to work really hard when I walk into a place and there are people that I don't know. It's really hard for me to walk up to them and just get to know them.
Let's read a few comments there. Manita's saying isolation is key sometimes, but it's not good for mental health. I fully agree.
Yeah.
You need to find your tribe sooner or later. You read the next one?
Yeah. And Brian is just saying, if you need your family and friends to survive, immigration might not be for you.
I fully agree.
And that is the hardest part of immigration, because we all need family and friends to survive. But the first 2-3 years of your immigration journey, you probably will not have those very close friends that you had before you immigrated. And it is a struggle because you need someone to vent and to just, to talk to. You can
bump heads with.
I mean, you and your husband's probably going to be on the same wavelength. both of you trying to integrate into the society and struggling to adapt and whatever, not having friends. So you might need someone else to talk to.
Somebody, one of my clients, I can't name the name, said to me, when you do immigrate, you lose your family and your friends. Okay? And listen to this. You lose your family and your friends, but you make new friends that you like that become your family.
And that is true. And
that is true.
You will hear when you get to New Zealand, we all talk about our New Zealand family. And we all have a New Zealand family. It is just that first 2 years where you are sussing out the people and getting to know people and finding your tribe that you would spend the rest of your life in New Zealand with and have as family. It takes a while. Don't get disheartened when it doesn't happen and when you don't find your friends and your people. I know it's hard, but just it will happen. Give yourself time.
Other things, you got to give yourself time. And the other things, if you don't like the people, they probably don't like you as well. So it takes time until you find the right one, the one that will gel with you.
And don't always just go to the South African people. You may find a New Zealand family that are totally from a different culture. So don't just go for the South Africans. It is really nice to have South Africans as family because they get you, they know your culture, they
know the shit you came from.
And they know where you come from. They know what it feels like.
I want to read this that Lizette is writing. She said, get involved with the community. My hubby joined the fire brigade as a volunteer and community patrolling. We made lots of friends that way just to get out and meet other people. Lizette, just remember, good influence is insurance price. Okay. But it's good to be volunteer somewhere. It's good to be used somewhere.
Nadine is saying there is a difference between friendly towards everyone and being a social butterfly. So you can only be friendly.
So what are you, friendly or a social butterfly?
No, I'm friendly.
Okay. And Werner also coming. Sorry, Werner, you're late, but good morning, Werner.
What I found until up to very recently is because English is not my first language. When I go into an environment where there are people of all cultures and whatever, I'm specifically now talking about BDO had that meeting where everyone got together and they were talking about the, I don't know, financial stuff. And I went with Jan, and now everyone is walking around, having coffee, having something to eat. And I ended up being in a conversation with two ladies who are Kiwis. And then because I sometimes struggle to find the right words, so I taught myself to talk a little bit slower when I speak to someone so that I have time to kind of look for words in my brain before I speak, because I normally speak very fast, but then there's no time to look for words. And then I felt like I was becoming over very stupid, or I don't know.
Okay. So you should actually talk slower to me as well.
Yes, then maybe you'll
understand or listen to you.
But then in the end, when you walk around the room, you will hear there are so many people that don't speak English as a first language. And some of them, their English is way worse than mine will ever be. And they don't have a problem. And everyone talks to them and engages with them. So I think it's just a mental thing for me. I feel like they wouldn't want to talk to me because I can't speak the language as clearly and as purely as they can do.
Or unclearly as they do.
Yeah, but that is just that is something that you must keep in mind. There are so many immigrants in New Zealand that it's out of 100 people there, 70 of them will probably be from a different country.
Although she speaks slower, she doesn't stop. So let's do this. All right, we've got this grand prize giving away next year, early next year, and we are going to draw two numbers, two people who has entered the competition. You have to be a client of ours, and you have to enter. That's the only two, how can I say, requirements. So let's do draw number 258. Number 258. We go through this list. 258 is Bernice Lowe.
Oh, that's one of
Bernice Lowe.
clients.
As one of Zan's clients.
Yes.
Okay. So congratulations to Zan, who's our other advisor. One of his clients is in the
Great.
grand draw. So we also got, it's a $2,000 first prize to travel wherever you want to. It's up to you. You can do it locally or internationally, use it for travel, for either for hotels or for flights or whatever you want to do for.
Whatever you want
I
to
think
do.
we thought about the guys that can't travel, and we thought, let's give them some petrol vouchers. So we've got another lot of petrol vouchers that we're also going to give away, but that is all more towards the grand draw. Let's do the next number 342. 342. 342 would be Jan Viljoen. All right, no family member, so you're not a family member, so that is that. All right,
Nice.
let's go on. But I want you to read, or let's say Brian said, don't worry, Mariska. Most Kiwis can't speak English either.
I know.
And that was one of the other things that they say the top 5 mistakes that people make is the language barrier.
I must say that I'm actually very proud of myself. I do understand Kiwi English now.
But you now, as you said, now.
Yes,
But in
and
the
it's
beginning,
been 7
it was.
years.
Yeah,
in the beginning, it was. They didn't understand me. I didn't understand them.
And the one problem with Kiwis, and sorry guys if there's Kiwis listening, they tend to talk more in their mouth.
Yes.
And they tend to talk softer. And if you go nearer to Kiwis, because I'm a bit of hard hearing, they talk softer and softer. So
and
eventually you end up with like this, and you can't hear what the guy's saying, and then he's talking about fuck and fight and stuff like that, and sweet ass and all these type of things. It just goes above you.
And another thing that Benedine and Benita is saying, the slang.
Yeah.
And that is something that you get used to the longer that you are in New Zealand. Because they are talking about dogs in place instead of.
But they're just saying they mumble. They do mumble.
They do mumble. Yeah, they talk like this.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, but you do get used to that. And sometimes I just say, "Whoa, you lost me. You lost me."
Yeah.
What did you say? So,
and Benedine said this morning, I think that's really very true. And I hear my own son is starting to talk like that. They talk and they end their sentences with a pitch. So it sounds like they want to continue with the sentence, but actually they're done. So you kind of stand waiting for them to say the next word and it doesn't come. It's true.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So that was 4 of those. The one thing they reckon the top 5 mistakes new immigrants make, I'm not 100% sure that is a big thing.
What?
In eligible sponsorships.
No, that's not really.
It's not a big thing.
No, not in New Zealand. You rarely get someone that sponsors you to come. So
most of the times, if you get, I won't say sponsorship, I want to say the work visa or the ANSCO code or whatever you call it. That if you have got that wrong with immigration, it's either you try to do it yourself, you've got a very stupid immigration advisor.
Yeah, no, that's why I say rather use someone that knows the lingo.
And it's so easy to do that.
Yeah. There are a few other things that I think we can add to the list.
So let's do that.
The one thing I would definitely say is do not convert your money to rand once you are in New Zealand. You are going to give yourself the worst headache ever, and you are going to end up not wanting to do anything because everything is too expensive. So
and that's a real problem. And me being a financial guy, even I struggled with that, and I knew I did not. I knew you should not do this, and I struggled with that. And these days, I mean, I still think back of what I paid for stuff in South Africa, but that was 8 years ago.
Yeah,
which is once again now wrong. Now I think, shays, this is expensive. I would have never paid $200 for that in South Africa. But meanwhile, the price has gone up in South Africa. That's about 3 times the price.
Yeah, don't convert.
Don't convert.
Don't
Don't
do that to
convert.
yourself.
No.
I'm just going to say, Bernard is saying, how are ya? So I'm just going to say,
Yeah.
sweet ass, Bernard.
And then they start talking ye na,
It is a different language overall, but
they understand we don't. So we are the immigrants.
It.
We've got to adapt to that. We've got to adapt.
Look at Alzon, and I keep on telling myself that always, and I tell that to other people as well. An accent is a sign of bravery because immigrating is the hardest thing that you will do in your life ever.
Yeah. I can't say it enough. It's easy for you to drive over to your parents' house if you live in the same country with them. It's easy. So you guys who are still there and still drive over to your parents' house, think about this. And think about the guys that has left. And I know it's their own choice to have left. I know it's really their own choice to have left. Nobody really forced them. But they are looking, the people that have left, they are looking for something better in their life than what they had. And they've made the very difficult decision to move away. And they've made the very difficult decision not to be able to get into the cars and just to go visit mum, dad, the sister, the brother. They made a very difficult decision.
Yeah.
For us to fly back to South Africa, for both of us, what will that cost?
No, it is expensive.
I mean, it's very, very expensive. It's 10 times. I can basically buy a car in South Africa and drive to my family with it.
You can't just, when you are feeling a little homesick today, it's not like you can just get on the plane tomorrow and go and visit for a weekend and come back.
And it's even worse. If I feel homesick at 12 o'clock today, if I pick up the phone, nobody in South Africa is going to answer me because they're all bloody sleeping. Huh?
And the thing is, and this is one of the hardest things, and I think it's the one thing that gets everyone down. When your kids misses their grandparents, it's not like you can say, we're going to visit them soon or whatever.
We'll do it this weekend.
Yeah, you have to kind of navigate that situation, and I can only imagine how difficult that can be. We had it the other way around for many, many, many years, where we were missing the grandkids in South Africa, and so many times, it is just so difficult. Let me tell you. And I know when you immigrate, you know that it's going to be difficult, but I don't think you get how difficult it really is going to be. So, you get used to it. It's a very bad thing to get used to, but you get used to it.
Yeah. Nicolette Geyer said, well said, my hubby is currently in South Africa. His brother passed away. Sorry to hear about that. So being away from family is like a big piece of you were left behind.
Yeah. I always say immigrating is like getting divorced. You still love someone, but you can't see them. It is like you divorcing your family and your country.
I think divorce is actually easier. Because divorce comes with the fact that you don't like that bloody person anymore. You don't divorce because you love each other. That's just the other way around. So
it's like divorce when you actually still like the other person.
And then why would you?
Because the other person wants to.
She's lost me there. Sorry, I've got no words. I've got no comeback here. She totally lost me there. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. But divorce for me is one. I don't like you. You don't like me. We don't like each other. That's why you're going there. I'm going there, and it's easy. Okay. And I mean, at that stage, it's easy to say, okay. Let's go. Yeah. So.
What else is there on the list?
The other thing. Let's talk about divorce while we are there. Your pen is making a lot of noises there. Talking about divorce, if you have a problem marriage in South Africa or wherever else in the world you bloody come from, it's not going to become easier. This is hard. This is hard words. You got to listen to me now. If you have got a problem with your hubby, your wife, your partner, whatever you call each other these days, it is going to become 10 times worse here. It is going to be everything that you have built up is going to be tested here. Even the relationship between you and your kids. The older the kids are, the harder the test will be.
Yeah, it is really difficult. So,
Yeah.
and the thing is, the only person that you can take out your stress and your whatever on is your partner,
the
because
partner.
you don't have anyone else.
You got to say the right partner.
So, yeah, don't think that immigration will fix your
Yeah.
marital
We
problems.
we
It's
see the divorces. We see them coming in. We see them
so
coming
many
in.
people getting separated. So
And
many.
most of those people had
Mm.
problems back in South Africa.
Yeah.
If you have problems down there and you come here, it's heck of a hard work. The other big problem, and I think Vanita will probably be able to give us more information on that, is that people come here on visas. They haven't got residence yet. Now they split up. Now it's two different visas. It's a lot of.
It can get very nasty, very
can
ugly.
get nasty, and sometimes one of the two go back.
So,
I've actually seen a lot of the other one going
and
back.
I agree with Vanita. She's saying that she's seen so many South Africans splitting up recently, and I have also noticed that.
Especially the last 6 to 12 months.
I don't know what it is, but really, I don't know.
Let's blame Jacinda. Jacinda.
Yeah, you have to be a little bit more resilient.
Yep.
You know that immigration is not going to be easy, and you know that you have to give yourself some time. And sometimes I get it. It works out that the husband, unfortunately, has to work in a different place than where you as mom and kids are stationed, where you are living. So you only get to see each other over weekends or whatever. But that, I keep on telling my children the same thing. Just get it in your head that this is not forever. Build up a little bit of resilience and just remind yourself all the time, this is only until I get residence. Just as soon as I get residence, we can fix this problem. So I know it is hard, but don't just give up.
Yeah.
Don't just give up.
It is very, very tough. And as Vanita's saying, marriage is hard work. Wherever you live, it is hard work. Yeah.
Times 100.
That's why I'm so gray and I'm losing hair and all those type of things.
It's because you don't listen.
I just need to greet Tian. Otherwise, he's going to call me now and complain that I haven't greeted him. He's on his way to Aussie. That's why he's up so early. He's just trying to get looking at Aussie. If you're in Aussie, you go around the house at 4 o'clock in the morning checking for snakes, crocodiles, all this stuff.
He's getting into the
habit. Yeah. So, all right, guys and girls, that's us until next week. We haven't got anybody interesting for next week, but we have a few interesting topics for you for next week. Okay, we still just have to go and think about them. All right. Have a good time, man. Goodbye to everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Hey, see ya. Bye.